we go a little bit of coaching IQ. It's too bad we can't do the NFL and NFL players. John, did you happen to see that Chicago Bear defensive back that's having a give and take with the fans while a Hail Mary, or as they're calling it, Hail Maryland now, was thrown over his head? Now, in all fairness, he did tip the ball, but still, that was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but he said he'd learn from that. That's great.
All right. Last look brought to you by Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn. Coaching IQ. What do we got, Caleb?
Well, you know, guys, there were a lot of buys this week, so I kind of broke my own rule for a minute, which is that my typical football IQ is you have to make a dumb decision that without that I can specifically point to that it costs your team the game. This time, there were a couple of decisions that were so stupid that they may not have cost their team the game, but I still have to mention them for my fifth one. So, and it's two SEC coaches real quick. So, it's Brent Venables and Mark Stoops. Now, they both lost their games by 2 scores, but I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend, Oklahoma was trailing Auburn by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Still a game, by the way. It's 4th and 3. They're on about the 40-yard line. Their own 40, I get it, but it's 4th and 3, 9 minutes to go. Brent Venables takes a timeout because he doesn't know if he wants to go for it or punt it. And he chooses to punt it. Down by 2 scores.
You suck, you jackass.
I will actually say this, John. I'm not sure that it isn't in Brent Venables' best decision-making process to take time. Maybe take a timeout from time to time. Maybe he should be awarded more timeouts because his lack of ability to make cognitive decisions.
Brent Venables, I did a column. It's actually an SEC newsletter I do, and I sent it out. I was talking about coaches who would begin next season, looking ahead, begin next season on the hot seat. And I put Brent Venables on there. Easy pick. But the way things are going, I'm not sure that he's going to make it to next season. I mean, Caleb points out that, yeah, that doesn't help him. His offensive acumen is just kind of like, huh? And one of the people on our board would just pointed out that Brent Venables has actually made it tougher for other defensive coordinators to get head coaching jobs. I mean, I've never seen a situation where you lose your top 5 receivers to injury. I've never heard of anything like that.
No, but it is funny. It is funny how he set back the defensive coordinator position for at least a decade, kind of a la John Chavis.
Well,
I mean, Venables is a terrific defensive coordinator. Nobody's ever doubted that, but you have to score a point every now and then. And
yeah,
the
you
way
can't play field position when.
Yeah, that was a horrendous, and I really think, Caleb, I mean, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but just as a recommendation, I think you should widen your net when looking for really stupid coaches' decisions. Even when a coach wins a game, if he's made a really dumb decision, I think you need to bring that out. I don't care if he won the game. The stupidity will manifest itself in losses later on down the road. So I think you need to widen the net there.
Yeah, well, John, you could have me go cover Powell High School. Matt Lowe's there.
John, I just haven't had to widen the net yet because it's been so easy to find. I can narrow my list and I can still find coaches making stupid decisions. My Mark Stoops one, by the way, was the fact that he switched quarterbacks. I don't mind that, but he had a running quarterback. And they decided to throw it like 60% of the time in the second half. And I'm like, you got a running quarterback. You can't throw the ball to save your life. And it's a defensive game. Why are you throwing it so much?
Well, I'll tell you this, too. I thought what was dumb about that is the change. And then they didn't have, because I've gone back and watched that game, they didn't have something immediately easy to complete, John. The poor kid goes, what's his name? Gavin Wimslet or something. He goes 0 for 4 in his first 4 passes. You got to have something easy, a screen or a little dump off. Last look brought to you by Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn.
To visit cctis.com. The information you need is easy to access, and setting an appointment is as simple as clicking the tab. Doctors Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn, and Eye Care Optical at cctis.com. Simply the best.
All right, who's next, Caleb Calhoun?
All right, so we got the 4 meaty ones now, the good ones. So we start with Michigan State head coach Jonathan Smith. Y'all all watched Michigan's offense this year, right? Pretty bad, right?
Yes.
I watch a lot of college football, Caleb, but I have not watched 1 minute of Michigan State.
No, Michigan's offense. Michigan's offense.
Oh, I thought you said Michigan State.
It's Michigan State played Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan State played Michigan.
Okay.
So
great.
Oh, yeah, I've watched Michigan. Yeah, they have a really good offense too. Sarcasm.
Yeah, terrible offense. You know what you don't do when you're facing a team with a really bad offense? You don't try to surprise them with an onside kick at some point and give them good field position. But Jonathan
that's
Smith,
what Josh Heupel does.
He's made Caleb's list before.
He's made my list before. But you don't do it when you're locked in a defensive battle. Michigan State and Michigan were in a defensive battle over the weekend. Michigan State hits a field goal. They decide, hey, I'm going to do an onside kick. They won't be expecting that. And, of course, Michigan recovers. Now, they don't score on that drive, but because of the field position battle, 2 drives later, they go score a touchdown and win the game 24-17.
You suck. Yeah.
And so does Caleb's impersonation of Jonathan Smith. I've seen him interviewed before, but I don't remember his talking exactly like that.
That's my dumb voice for people who think they're being smart.
Oh, okay. Well, that works in. It's a generic thing. I was individualizing it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're good.
It's like my wife's voice for me that does not sound like me at all, but she just has to make me sound dumb and like deepen the voice. I'm like, Jordan, that's not what I sound like, but you know.
My best impression is of John Adams, actually. It's in my repertoire. All right, Caleb, what's next?
All right, so next, guys, y'all, I'm really high on Mike Elko. I've always said because coaches are by and large not bright. When you hire an Ivy Leaguer, a true Ivy Leaguer, they're light years ahead of everybody, and he's proven me right. But Bill O'Brien really throws salt on that theory because he's an Ivy League grad too, and he ain't that bright. But then I realized over the weekend, Bill O'Brien went to Brown as a legacy kid. Legacy kids that go to Ivy League schools are not bright. They get in because daddy got him in, and that's Bill O'Brien. Over the weekend, Boston College was beating Louisville 20-7 at the half. Bill O'Brien, with 75 seconds left at the half, got the ball. It was 1:15 left. Boston College had the ball. All 3 timeouts. Bill O'Brien played for the half and ran out the clock. And then Louisville came back and won. You don't do that. You try to score.
Where was the ball at that time? Okay.
It was at the 25-yard line, but like you play for a field goal. You have all 3 timeouts. You've scored 20 points. You know Louisville with their offense is going to come back.
I agree with Caleb. I think that's in this day and age of football. I think that's pretty short-sighted.
Well, it depends also on your quarterback. How good a passer is he? I know he's a really good runner. But I would have taken a shot. I think it's stupid, but it's not super stupid.
I think it's super stupid. But that's...
All right. Ray Varner Ford, local you trust, innovation you can't afford, RayVarnerFord.com. All right, Caleb, what's next?
All right, I got a couple of golden ones to finish this off. We got Barry Odom made the list again, guys. Barry Odom did some great bad coaching over the weekend. But UNLV had a chance to upset Boise State. Boise State ran a play at the end of Barry Odom misused 3 timeouts in the game. At the end of the first half, Boise State ran a play. There was about 30 seconds left. If UNLV uses the timeout right there, a 4th down's coming, they'll get the ball with about 30 seconds left. Barry Odom's like, let Boise State run this clock all the way down so they can have the last play of the half. And then they score on the last play of the half on the 4th down.
That's crazy.
And
yeah, that is crazy. And I was watching that game, and I thought about Caleb when it happened.
Well, John, did you see the second half where Barry Odom took a timeout to argue a substitution penalty that can't be reviewed? So UNLV burned a timeout in the second half on a substitution penalty that can't be reviewed. And then at the very end of the game, Boise State got a 1st down to run out the clock, but they would have had to run a play because Barry Odom forgot that within 2 minutes, the clock stops until the ref spots the ball, but the play clock is still running. Barry Odom didn't know that, so he just rushed to use his timeout, which allowed Boise State to kneel the ball down at the end.
Ouch. Not a great outing by Barry Odom, and not the first time I've ever said that.
That's hot.
All right, what else you got, Caleb? Wrap us up here.
Number one is Lance Leipold at Kansas. Kansas had a chance to upset Kansas State over the weekend, but late in the game, trailing 27, or I'm sorry, yeah, late in the game, I believe it was they were up 27-26, and they had a chance to really pile it on. They were running the ball well. They bring up a 3rd and 2 at the Kansas State 46-yard line, and Lance Leipold decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it with Jalen Daniels, who hasn't thrown it well all game. Throws it, incomplete pass, and then at the Kansas State 46-yard line, locked in a shootout, decides I'm going to punt the ball. The punt ends up being a touchback, so he nets 27 yards out of that.
He was supposed to be a hot coaching he was kind of a hot coach before this season, wasn't he?
That's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Brent.
I mean, I think Lance Leipold is that type of coach that does a lot of the not in-game stuff right. You know, develops players, identifies talent, things like that. But then when it comes to like making the right decision in the game and thinking on your feet, he's like, I don't know what to do. And so I think he's kind of that.